Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am Amalgam Ash, and this is RPG in a Box, an RPG creation tool created by Justin Arnold. RPG in a Box is available on itch.io right now at the regular price of $24.99. With it, you also get a key for its Steam version. Now, if you don't like having it on more than one platform and you would prefer to just have the Steam version, you can just go get that. But if you're cool with having multiple licenses and giving the creator even more money, which I highly recommend, you will get the itch.io version. But this is the second time I have used the program. The first time was a long time ago. All I really did was open the program up. And this is an exercise, a long-awaited exercise to see what I can get accomplished in about 30 minutes. Now, my own personal timer is at the bottom of my Samsung Galaxy Note 10. The recording timer is just ticking away. I'm going to see what I can actually do starting from scratch. I have not really touched the program. I mean, I've just barely, but I haven't done anything in it. I don't have any idea where anything is. I don't know what kind of features are available. I mean, I have an idea, but today I'm actually going to dig in. I'm going to dive in, and I might drown. So drown with me as we create a game in RPG in a Box, a Hello World Amalgam Ash style. Let's do this. We're going to create a new game. Looks like we have a splash screen right here. Game Manager. As soon as we open up the program, we've got a social media links at the bottom, a nice tool tip, randomized did you know, recent games list here, the RPG in a Box logo, and a way to join the community in Discord. Now, I always link the Discord in my own YouTube descriptions, so the link is in the description below. We're going to populate this by creating a new game. And we're going to call this the Ashen Voxel. We're going to automatically create the subfolder for project files, import the example content recommended for getting started. I think that's fine. Oh, the destination path cannot be blank. All right, we're going to call this Ash's RPG Assets, and then we'll actually create a new folder, RPG IAB Games. And you've got the ability to do this all right here. Whoops, that's how we'll do that. RPG IAB Games. And select the current folder. And now the folder's created, and we're ready to begin. That was very fast. Okay, recent models. We've got some recent models. We are in a tab. Where are we? We're in the Voxel Editor. So, noticing the UI, we've got lots and lots and lots of stuff, but it's all laid out pretty nice and grid-like. It looks like it's easy to see what I will have access to once I switch tabs, and what I'll no longer have access to when I switch tabs. That's good. Now, I'm using a 4K monitor, so the resolution that I'm using is going to be pretty big. Might be hard to see everything, so if you're watching this on a mobile device, I will just apologize now. We have 3 tabs in the upper right-hand corner that seem to govern the different things that I could use to build a map. That looks to be a crossroads symbol. Let's click on the tree, and then we have objects. Okay, so this is like outside stuff or structural stuff, like walls, stairs, floors. I guess it could be exteriors, while this is more objects to be placed. And kind of makes sense. And then we have living entities. Here's our Justin, our Sarah models that we've seen in various RPG in a Box games. So here's all of our paint palette for stamping down voxels onto our map and creating our map. Let's get out of the Voxel Editor, go to the Map Editor. And yep, all these buttons right here in the window, changing context. That's very lovely design. We have a script editor, dialogue editor, UI editor. Hello. That's lovely. I love it. Item editor. In the UI editor, we have themes, widgets, screens, main menu, which is in excess. Oh, no, there it is. And credits. That's lovely. That's very nice. And that's clean. And that's intuitive. I'm already feeling pretty at home here. Item editor, let's keep going. Looks like you can create items. We've got a few pre-made items. Each item has got an overview, its own ID, and its own properties. And all of these properties, as you know, would make up how the item can be used in the actual game during runtime. We have a combat editor. Please note that the combat editor and related functionality are currently under construction and subject to change. We have general, battles, enemies, loot drops, random encounters, and enemy spawns. So all of those sections can be opened up, collapsed, or hidden away. Stats editor. We have leveling, equipment, and currency. All right. And we have the documentation tab. So we have documentation and tutorials right in the engine. I love it. I feel like I can disconnect from the internet and still have access to everything I need to start making stuff. So let's see, on the left-hand side, we have our Game Explorer. So here's all the folders all of our stuff is in. We've got our favorites list, which I guess we can add stuff from the Game Explorer to that. Looks like if I click one, it's not lit up yet, so maybe not. Maybe not just yet. That's fine though. If we click on an item within a folder, we can add that to our favorites. Gotcha. And you can also delete resources from here, as well as refresh them. You can check out your game configuration here, which we will do here in a minute, and create a new resource. And you can collapse all the folders, which we'll go ahead and do. And you can link with editor. I don't know what that means yet. We may revisit that. Recent, Justin Overworld Dungeon Startup Sarah. Cool. And we can hide or make visible each of these categories of things from the Explorer by highlighting or unhighlighting its associated category icon. In the lower left-hand corner, we have editor tools and properties, and nothing to display just yet. So I'm going to do something I almost never do and click on create a quick example game. So I've already done this, I can tell right away, although the UI has changed since here, I think, a little bit. And then the new game dialog, which I've already done. And now we can, directly under your game's name in the Game Explorer, you should see an item called Game Configuration. Double click on this to open the Game Configuration dialog and see some of the settings that can be modified. We also have, before I get to that, up at the very top, we have the Export Game button, ever present. I love that. Quick Play, ever present. I love that. It looks like we have an in-engine sound effects generator. I've heard about this, but this looks really exciting to an analog sound effect gearhead like myself, or wannabe gearhead. I love it. I love it. And then we have attribution that it's based on SFXR, a tool created by Thomas Pedersen, Dr. Petter. So we can also export these to WAV, load settings, save settings, and we've got all kinds of sound effects that we can generate or have based on these templates. So we'll close that, get back to the engine up top. Asset library. Usage. If any of these models are used in your game, original or derivative, please ensure that proper credit is given to the creators, and then you can import these models into your game. There are 15 pages of models to import into your game. A lot of these, I think, maybe not some of these, or none of these, are in the engine already. Ooh. To make it easier to create somebody, we've got a base for the female and male, or feminine and masculine models. That's cool. We have lots and lots of structural dungeon walls, some very oddball characters, some very cute animals, very cute furniture, trees and the like. All right, cool. Close that. We've got import, which will allow us to import, I'm not sure what, I guess game files. make it easier to share stuff between people. Settings for general, the Voxel Editor settings, you can change the colors, map editor, script editor, code highlighting, dialogue editor, quick play. You can go to help, about, nice. And we've got some really cool, we've got levels for patrons like dungeon masters, heroes, NPCs, and slimes. Yes, this engine was built with Godot Engine 3.1, and it's not necessarily Godot, it's definitely its own engine. You can create your games in this without having any sort of experience with, I said Godot, but I think it's Godot whatsoever. You definitely do not have to know how to code, which is why I'm really excited about this engine and diving into it, and have been for a long time. After Smile Game Builder and RPG Maker MV 3D, this is the third of a sort of holy trinity that I would like to cover. And I've covered many of the small games and demos made with this engine, but we have to continue on. We can't just linger. Patron stuff. Patron stuff is important because the creator recently shared that they're not going to be able to work on this full time and provide the updates at the cadence that they'd like to, or that they were actually providing updates at the rate that they were providing the updates, because they kind of need to get back on track with, I would assume, full-time work. And so this is not going to be abandoned by any means, but it's going to be dormant until they can get lucky or get into something with more exposure so that a ton of people can know about this thing. Well, I'm probably not going to be selling anybody just by looking at the help file. Let's see what happens when we go back to, we can exit to the game manager, and we can just straight up exit at the top of the menu. That covers the entire UI. I feel like it's all very clean. It's all easy to understand. It's automatically some of the best RPG engine UI that I've seen, because of how well laid out it is and visually, aesthetically easy to absorb and understand. And I've only spent 13 minutes with this, and I'm ready to fight somebody to stand by that statement. Game configuration. We can change our preset in the gameplay, global properties, global event scripts. Don't know what to do next. Let's jump right back to the tutorial for creating a quick example game. And I did check out the game configuration to see some of the settings that could be modified. Now I can browse the example resources. When your game first starts, it executes the startup script that is specified in the game's configuration. In this case, that is a script aptly named startup. So, if I go to the script editor, there's our startup script. Let's open it. Here we go. We have a node-based eventing system. If you are coming from RPG Maker or Smile Game Builder, this shouldn't be too unfamiliar, because both of those engines use, RPG Maker uses command lines that it then places in front of you with the values in the form of what could be panels, and SGB uses panel UI strictly. So you can think of this as panels, or you can arrange these horizontally, but just know that the concept is still the same. Each command happens within a sort of node, and then how it interacts with the events around it depends on what those events are and whether or not they are nested in things like if commands. So we're going to check out, script begins here. Here's our start panel. We're going to check out how this works. And we can zoom out, reset the zoom in, enable the snap and show grid. I like the snap a lot, actually, so I'm going to keep that on. My mind is blown that one person worked on all of this. My mind is blown that one person did this. So we've got a overworld, and we can change the player position. Fine. Player direction is south. Okay, all of that makes sense. So drag a logic or function item from the script tools panel on the left and drop it below to add it to the script. Here are our... Oh, so here's where these resources come in handy now. This is stuff that I can drag right onto, what would you call this? The event grid. Oh, and if you check out the very bottom, you can actually see this in the engine's own proprietary Bauxite code. I love that name. RPG in a Box uses Bauxite. And you can kind of get an idea of how these things work. If you've got some programming background, I've got some. I understand how these arguments and how this function is laid out. This makes sense to me, is what I'm trying to say, very poorly. Alright, so I want to create a new event on my map. I'm going to need a map first, aren't I? Let's go to the map editor, check out the overworld where I know that we're starting. And this was going to be where we started. And okay. Okay, so middle mouse allows me to rotate if I drag with middle mouse. Left and right click don't do anything. Scroll wheel zooms in and out. And... oh, did not want to do that. I can click on one of the items and then suddenly I have it. It is my brush tip. If I hold Alt and I mouse over stuff, I get the names of everything here. Roof, ladder, roof edge, stone wall window, door, stone wall corner, grass sign, tree, small, ship, shore, water, treasure chest. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. I want just grass. I can have that. I can have grass. And I would imagine the grid that I'm seeing that's filling in is where you can walk. I didn't show it. Well, I don't want to do that just yet because I don't think I'll remember how to come back from that if I get lost. I didn't show it, but like oh, and if you click and hold the button and drag, you can create you essentially can fill with your grid. Right, so anyway, what was I saying? I didn't show it, but I don't know what it was I was going to say. I'm sorry. I need to find a way to delete the items here because I want to make a hello world that's something that I made, right? So, oh, that's what I was saying. I didn't show it, but if you right click while you have a particular object in your possession, it will simply rotate that object 45 degrees. So here's dungeon stairs. I'm right clicking. It's spinning them while I still have it before I even stamp it down. That is how we change the orientation of the item that we're going to put down. This feels wonderful. All right, so I need to find how to destroy things. We have a display grid, display crosshair, display navigation paths, and markers, and the standard camera. Do I have a list of everything here? Free camera? Free camera? Oh, okay. The free camera's okay. What's this? Oh. That's the isometric camera. We have now an orthographic view. No perspective. Everything retains its shape. A single tile must be selected before switching into first-person camera mode. This tile will be used for the initial camera position. Oh. So, can I Control-Z undo that? Yes, I can. Wonderful. So how can I just select a tile for that? We'll figure that out a little later. We can save camera positions. Capture image to file. That's awesome. We can create auto tiles. We can create auto tiles? To create a set of auto tiles, left-click the grid squares below to assign tiles matching the pattern shown. What? You can create auto tiles right in the engine. As an example, the lighter and darker colors could represent land and water respectively. Right-clicking a square will rotate the assigned tile. It's got a fully functioning auto tile creator in the engine. So I did watch Sarah's videos, her tutorial videos on getting started with RPG in a Box, but obviously a lot of it went over my head, and I didn't, because I wasn't in the engine trying to follow along at that time. So I'm seeing a lot of this and completely forgetting that some of it even existed. And you can go into full screen mode. I just want to delete some of these. Can I do that by mousing over them? No. How do I delete things? How do I do that? I can put some more Justins down. That's nice. I can put some animals down, some slimes, put a Sarah down. I guess I can quick play. Your project has changes that are unsaved. Oh, I should save first. How do I do that? Where's the disk symbol? Save. Will that work? No. How do I save everything? It's okay. Let's just quick play. That wasn't too bad. Not too long of a wait at all. Here it is, the Ashen Voxel. I've sort of created a hello world. Not quite. It doesn't quite count because meow meow. I have 20 hit points. Don't mess with me. A goblin stole my gold coins. Could you find them for me, please? It's a little example quest. But yeah, not quite the hello world I imagined yet, because I haven't been able to... Oh, wow. And I get to go onto the raft. Fun! Oh, goodbye, raft. It was nice seeing you. Now I get to drive the ship. Because I didn't make this myself, but I did put down the terrain back there. So let's... Alright, there are a couple more things that I could dig into really quick. There are map, preload, and postload scripts. Background type, procedural sky. Oh, I love that. Yes, please. Yes. Background music, camera overrides, player overrides. Camera orientation, behind the player. How about that? Groups. We have grouping. We'll figure that out later. Random encounters, enemy spawns. Camera positions, fog, off and on. We'll turn the fog on. We won't put the depth fog, just the height fog. And then the ambient light settings. Down here, we have directional light settings. That's awesome. If you're making an RPG engine, take note at the kind of thing. Take note of the kinds of things. Whoa. That is awesome to see in real time. And the vertical angle, horizontal and vertical. Shadows on or off, we'll put them on. And the shadow darkness, put maximum shadow darkness. Global illumination is experimental, but we can turn that on. And we can turn glow on, whatever that does. Looks like our ship will glow. Okay. I would love to be able to grab our script. I don't think we can do that. Can I control S to save? Doesn't quite work that way. Does it at least take my map changes? No. My map changes have not been taken. That stuff has been. All those guys are back there. My Justin clones, my Sarah, my cat, my slime. All that stuff is there. Move, kitty. Oh yeah, I have to actually save the map. And then what's this? Save as? Okay, we don't want to do that here. We want to save... Do I just have to go and save like all the stuff in here? I don't think I messed with anything except for the map editor, and I moved the script editor around. Is that why? That's why. It's because I moved that one script node around. That's why it was like, hey, you haven't saved everything. Now, yeah, we're glowing for whatever reason now. So check out that lighting. I don't have full camera control just yet. Right now I can click and drag with the right mouse button, but that's really pretty. My procedural sky, I assume, is still there. All right. And then just in case you forget the colors of the lines, we have a wonderful key right here. Navigation types. Green means walk and interact. Yellow, walk only. Orange, interact only. Purple is pending. Yeah, so I still need to figure out... Oh, I've selected those. Those are selectable. I didn't know that. I've selected those, and now I can make it to where you can walk, I think, through this tree, presumably. Okay. Nice. And we have our positional info in the bottom left corner changes as we move the camera around as well. Our direction is west, our direction is north. Zoom distance. That would be cool. I would like to see the pitch and yaw of the camera recorded as well down there. I think that would be really useful for me because I'm a sucker for recording camera angles lately and transferring those values onto events so that I can control the camera during events for cinematics, as well as other things. So we'll mess with the Voxel Editor before my time runs out. I've just got a few minutes left. We'll open up the Justin model just to mess with it. So this is Justin. Hi, Justin. Doing good? You're looking fantastic. And I've heard all kinds of stuff about the Voxel Editor. I've heard that you can import models from Cubicle, I think, and definitely Magica Voxel. So if you're a Magica Voxel artist, you can have those assets in RPG in a Box. You could create asset packs. You could likely sell asset packs or import them into the engine for your own game. But if they're too big, you have to section them off, I think, in quarters in order to get them in here. If they're bigger than perhaps the maximum grid dimension. So this is as big as we can get. And in this three-dimensional grid, which all of the lines aren't visible, that way you actually can see the model that you're working with. You can extrude. Oh god, let's get a little closer to the actual model that we're working with. You can extrude by clicking right onto the face of each cube and rotate around using the right mouse button, and you can give Justin a cool helmet. Nice. And we've got these things, these little links, which I think are called attach points, but we'll look at those later. And with these attach points, you can, I think, put stuff in their hands, have them interact with other things. So I think they assist with not quite collision. Oh, nice. You can also drag to fill. So I go up to here and I can click and drag and just fill that whole thing in. And now I've made Justin this awesome helmet. Where is my color palette so that I can make these blocks, these voxels a different color? I can't do that quite yet. We can display the surface edges, display ambient occlusion. We can just preview the game mesh. The voxel must be saved before viewing the game mesh. I won't do that right now. Preview the attached objects. Capture thumbnail, capture portrait, capture image to file, editor settings, full screen mode, and export to external format, which you can export this to a Magic of Voxel VOX file. So if you're more comfortable working in Magic of Voxel, I'm guessing you can export it to that format, go into Magic of Voxel, edit to your heart's content, and then bring it right back to this engine. And you can also save it as a 2D image. You can export the frames along with your model. That way you can keep these guys animated. Yeah, we're going to dig into a lot more of this stuff, which it looks like our animation controls are down at the bottom, which is where I would expect them to be. And we can even play, oh nice, we can play the animations that he has in here by default. That was attack, here's climb. The S attach point here makes me think that that's technically where he'd be interacting with something like a ladder, so that's making sense. Interact, and it does go beyond the confines of three-dimensional grid. So slide? Oh, he's sliding down. And just walk. I lost my cool helmet. Helmet's all gone. Oh, there it is. It's in interact. Ah, but it's only there for its given frame, so I'd have to draw that helmet for each frame. No problem. We're gonna do that. Not yet. Not in this session. This session I'm out of time, unfortunately. That was a lovely experience. And I didn't quite get to do my hello world because I was looking for just like a trash can icon or something. I know it's staring me in the face. I know there's likely a button or something I just push and then the tile or object or whatever goes away. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm going to learn what that is. I'll get in some tutorial and I'll come back to this, and the next time we will revisit with more of a knowledge-backed overview, and we'll actually make some maps and maybe a couple of events to throw down. My goal with RPG in a Box is to, before the end of the year, and I think it's a perfectly doable goal, create a one-to-one exact copy of my Smile game builder game, Planet Spectrum, a game about a group of space explorers who are marooned onto a planet, and they're not sure what their odds of survival are. They had a traitor on their crew, starship, who actually murdered 2/3 of the crew, and crashed the ship, and then escaped. And the remaining crew members aren't sure what happened, why that happened, or what's going on. Cool little story that I didn't really want to make a big deal out of or pay any attention to. I just threw it together, and then I fell in love with it and made it a lot bigger than I intended to. So I thought something fun to do would be to make that same game in every single engine that I put hands on. So RPG in a Box needs to be the next engine that I make it in. Anyways, like I said, out of time, thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, please comment down below. Box Squad. That's all I could think of on the spot, and I will see you tomorrow. Not sure what I'll be doing tomorrow, but I will see you tomorrow. Have a fantastic, wonderful day. Be sure to check out RPG in a Box, their YouTube channel, the link in the description below for the Discord, the itch.io page, the Steam page. Look at all of the videos you can. Look at the games that I've played on my YouTube channel. And as I continue on this journey, I've noticed some other people are making RPG in a Box content as well. And I'm going to be linking to them and trying to promote their stuff as well, so everybody can be aware of this thing, what it is, what it do, how cool it is, right? So thanks again. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.